Hey, it's Amy Brown from The Bobby Bones Show. Join me in supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for a chance to win a trip to meet Megan Maroney at the 2025 iHeart Country Festival in Austin, Texas on May 3rd, hosted by Bobby Bones. We're going to hook you up with tickets, flights, hotel, food credits, and a meet and greet with Megan Maroney. Take action now to support St. Jude and help cure childhood cancer, and you're going to be entered for a chance to win. Visit iHeartCountryTrip.com to learn more.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 6th episode of Crime Over Wine, the only podcast with head-scratching true crime stories that are just better over a bottle of wine. I'm your host, Liam Collins, and this week I am shipping in a guest host all the way from Austin, Texas. She is an incredibly talented reporter, friend, and also a dog mom. My guest co-host this week is Meredith Aldis. Hello, Meredith. How are you doing?
Hi, Liam. I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be on this podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. I feel like I haven't seen you in so long, even though it's been, like 6 months at this point, I think?
Yeah, I think like 6-7 months.
So Meredith is a reporter at Fox 7 News in Austin, Texas. She's also like a really cool bodybuilder. So like go follow on her Instagram. She's won all sorts of awards. And we met though when we worked together as reporters in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And Meredith, I'm going to just like put you on the spot here just a little bit. I'm just like curious what you like thought of me. Like when you first saw me, like almost 2 years ago?
Yeah.
No pressure.
Oh gosh. Okay. No, I knew you were dang smart and a really good reporter, and you like dug into stories to like all the way in. Once you got onto something, you were like, yeah, we're going in. And then I knew about your dogs because you talked about them.
Always.
Did you have two though at that point?
No. When I moved to Tennessee, I just had the one. And then I got Moira. You must have like just been about to leave when I got Moira, or if you weren't already gone already. Yeah,
and we lived right next to each other, so that was cool. We could relate on the fact that we lived right next to each other.
Yeah, and like 2 seconds from work. So Meredith, what do you say we get into our wine of the week?
Yes. Now we can drink together.
Yes, of course. So we are drinking Fog Bank's Pinot Grigio. It's a California white. It's a medium-bodied wine with floral aromas and flavors of nectarine and peaches with a crisp, clean finish. It sounds very exotic. I am really excited for this. I don't think I've ever had nectarine in a wine before, or like nectarine flavors, so I'm like really interested about this.
Interesting fruit. Like, I wonder if it's going to taste fruity. I'm pouring a lot.
Listen, you are going to need a lot for this case, Meredith.
Ooh.
I like, definitely promise you that. Okay, cheers to you.
Cheers.
To Crime Over Wine.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, the nectarine, though, is like, I can definitely taste that. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's
like it's very subtle, though.
I don't hate it at all, because it's not too, I don't even know what the word is, but like, it's not tart and it's not flat. It's just kind of like a little hint of sweetness. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. No, the flavoring is very, very forward for sure. I think I'm digging it.
I'm a fan. I'm going to probably drink the whole bottle.
Yeah, well, I like probably would have drank the whole bottle even if I was like, so like, that's just how I am.
When you open a bottle, like, are you supposed to save some? I feel like it's just like an invitation to drink the whole thing.
Look, I am not in the business of wasting wine.
Yes.
I really think that's irresponsible.
I agree.
So, what do you say we get into our story this week? And I do see you're sitting down, and I promise you're going to want to for this story.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. I'm ready.
So, Meredith, I want to tell you a story that tore at a coastal North Carolina community's heartstrings for months. It's one of those stories that will make you wonder if one thing took just a different turn. Would we be here talking about this story with tragedy at every turn? Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Mariah Woods, the heart of Onslow County. Jacksonville, North Carolina is a small city tucked right along the coast of the eastern side of the state. It's home to Camp Lejeune, the largest Marine Corps base on the East Coast. It's a transient community at the intersection of several major highways along the coast and right in the middle of some of the state's most popular beaches. There are about 73,000 people who call Jacksonville home, but they are far outnumbered by the few and the proud, the Marines. There are an estimated 137,000 Marines stationed at Camp Lejeune on any given day. In all, there are an estimated 180,000 people who live there with the entire community encompassed. It's a heavily male community, as I'm sure you can imagine, with a median age of 23 years old and a median household income of $47,000. But it's an interesting spot for sure, and I can say that because I actually lived there for a year. There are bars and clubs on practically every corner, and I'm not talking like these high-end spots. There are some, of course, but by and large, I'm talking dive bars and strip clubs at every turn. So really just a place the Marines know they'll only be for a short period of time. They come, they have a little fun in their off time, and the businesses right off the base really know how to market to that crowd.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. There's a little community in San Antonio in Texas, kind of like that. That's Army based. And so you've got the same, male dominated community. Okay. That makes me scared though.
Yeah. So, yeah, hold on tight for sure. So it's a really pretty part of the state. Sneads Ferry, Topsail Beach, and Emerald Isle are just up the road, and so there are some people who plant roots there. The Woods family was one of those families, and I say family kind of loosely only because there's Christy Woods, 3-year-old Mariah Woods, and her 10 and 5-year-old brothers, but Christy also has a live-in boyfriend named Earl Kimry, whose real name is actually Adolphus, but he goes by Earl. Earl, though, is not the father of any of these children. He just lives with the family and probably provides a little bit of income.
Okay.
So Alex Woods is the children's birth father, but he says at this point he hasn't seen any of his kids in almost a year. Christy has custody of them, but Alex is actually fighting that in court at the time. The week of November 27th, 2017, they actually have a court hearing scheduled for that Friday. Alex has a fiance named Heather Kraft who has kids of her own, but Alex says his children aren't safe inside of Christy and Earl's home, which is his argument for why they should come live with him. And there are some accusations of drug abuse, some reports of violence, etc., and which makes me wonder what made a judge grant Christy custody over Alex. Like, if Christy is so bad, like, how bad could it possibly be for Alex for him not to get custody?
Yeah, if there's all these allegations, yeah, exactly. Why did the judge let her take them?
Yeah, and it's almost, and you'll kind of see throughout the story, like Alex really gets the narrative, in terms of like what's happens to his kids. And I couldn't find anything at any point as to like, if Alex really did go down a bad road and, what his deal is. It's just simply not known. I'm not saying that there is anything or there isn't anything. It's just, we don't know.
But it's pretty obvious that Alex and Christy don't get along.
Yeah, definitely obvious at that. Not at all, in fact.
It's like custody battle type, pretty much. Like,
yeah, like pretty much. And you'll see like the worst case scenario of like ugly divorce.
Okay, and with kids involved, that's scary.
Yeah, always scary. In fact, a judge issued a no contact order for the both of them, and that's because when they do talk, it tends to get pretty heated. And I mean, like, dangerously heated. There was a report from 2016 where Christy is actually accused of trying to run Heather over with her car in front of her children during a fight. Christy is charged with simple assault and communicating threats, but those charges are eventually dismissed when Heather fails to show up in court. But Heather eventually tells the Jacksonville Daily News that she didn't show up because her ankle was broken, and she was actually just late to court, that the clerks didn't relay the message that she was late. And I've covered court in this exact courthouse before. Meredith, I know you've covered court before, and I know that it works really similarly to court in Chattanooga, where these court hearings aren't the only cases the judge is hearing that day, so they just start at a specific time and go, and if you're not there when they call your name, not really their problem.
Oh, yeah, and it could be like this hour or this hour, and you've got to sit in the court for the entire time until your name is called.
Yeah.
And once they call your name, it's usually fast, so,
right.
Like, don't miss your name. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, don't even go to the bathroom.
I can't believe running her over. Holy
Yeah,
smokes.
I will say I glossed over that, like, way too fast. Like, yeah, that's a little much for me too. I really need to know the backstory behind that. Like, obviously that was like one of their most ugly fights for sure.
Wow. Okay.
So Alex tells the JD News that he has had some serious problems getting a judge to take their case seriously. He's been trying so hard to get the case heard, but he says he can't afford a lawyer, so no judge will see him. So on November 26, 2017, Christy, Earl, and their 3 kids returned to their trailer in Jacksonville, North Carolina around 8:30 that night from a vacation. They put the kids to sleep, which they said was a little late for them. Actually, the kids usually go to sleep around 7. Around 11 that night, Earl and Christy tell police the following story. They check on Mariah to make sure she was still sleeping, and she was. And then a little later on, Mariah wakes up and goes to the living room to see Christy and Earl, who then just turn her right back around and put her right back to bed. Sometime later, they all go to sleep and call it a night. But around 5:15 in the morning, Earl and Christy wake up, stretch, wipe the sleep from their eyes, and start their Monday. But as they walk around their trailer, they discover that Mariah is nowhere to be found. In her room, Christy and Earl only find Mariah's pink PJs and shoes that she needs to walk. She has a birth defect called muscular dystrophy that makes it really hard for her to get around on her own. So she really needs these shoes to get anywhere. They search around the trailer and even circle the property 2 or 3 times, but find no sign of Mariah. So around 6 that morning, Earl calls 911.
Onslow County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at 2405 Dustin Gavin Road, Lot 7.
Could you repeat the address for verification, sir?
2405 Lot 7 Dustin Gavin Road.
And tell me exactly what happened.
She wrote it's nowhere to be found. We would look everywhere in our house, in our yard, and our little girl she's missing.
Okay, how old is she, sir?
She's 3 years old.
Okay, so let me get some information from you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so when was the last time you seen her?
We went to bed last night. Everyone went to bed at the same time.
And what time is that, sir?
Maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30.
So he talks about, she asked, what time is the last time you saw him? We all went to bed at 8 o'clock, but I thought she got up in the middle of the night at like 11. So you saw her later than 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so a little bit of a spoiler alert here. That's going to become like a real problem for Earl and Christy. They changed their story quite a bit in the early days of this investigation, but the story I told you before is the final story that they end up sticking with to police. So completely out of breath, Earl continues to describe to the operator what Mariah may be looking like right now.
And you looked in the bedroom, under the bed, and everywhere, sir? Not able to?
Bedrooms, closets, under, and everywhere. We went to the house 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
In the yard. It's not like her to go outside at all. But not in the middle of the night or in the morning by herself.
Yes, and now does she have a physical, medical, or mental condition we need to be aware of?
She has muscular dystrophy. She's palsy. She goes down a lot. That's it. And otherwise, she's perfectly able.
Okay. All right, so I need to get a description. What race is she?
She's white, blonde hair, about 3 feet tall.
Do you know how much she weighs?
About 30 pounds.
Okay, does she have any characteristics on her face, like scars or birthmarks, anything?
Blue eyes. She's in her pajamas.
Okay. And what kind of PJs did you put her in, sir? What color? Do you remember?
They were pink.
Okay, and her name?
Her name is Mariah.
Mariah?
Woods.
Last name Woods?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, he says pink pajamas, but didn't he find pink pajamas?
Yeah, so you'll hear it in a second, but eventually like his girlfriend like finds them in the room, so he like finds out that they were left behind like in the middle of this call. So you'll hear that in a second.
Sorry. I was like, what?
All right, sir. And who was the last person that you seen her with?
The last time, me and my girlfriend put her to bed right when we came in. We came in from a trip last night, and everybody went to bed at like 8:30 or 8 around that time.
Okay.
I can't say for sure because we usually go to bed at 7:30, but we're coming home from vacation.
Okay. And do you know anywhere that she might go at all, or neighbors or anywhere?
You know, we don't. We haven't been living here very long. We don't have any neighbors that are friendly.
Okay. And has she been missing before, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see any personal items taken, like a blanket or a teddy bear that she might have?
You said this. Yeah, no, nothing. She could. My girlfriend said that the pajamas that she was in are laying in the floor in there.
What's on the floor?
She said the pajamas that she put her in.
Well, I still can't get over the fact that there's a ton of stuff left. A kid doesn't just, take off their clothes and go running outside, or...
Yeah, that's what I don't really understand, like why, like, what is she wearing? Like, if they think that she just took off, like, what do you think she's wearing if she is not in her pajamas anymore and isn't in, like, doesn't have these shoes that she needs to walk if it's, like, that bad, you know, if her muscular
dystrophy. Yeah, how would she walk? That doesn't make any sense. But are they faking to panic? I think it's weird. Like he acts like he doesn't know the pajamas are there. How did he not check? Did he check the room then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a really good point that I never really thought of. Like how you open the room and you didn't you assume that she's still in the pajamas, but like you don't notice that they are taken off. Like that is like a really weird detail, but like, I don't know. I can almost just imagine that he's just like, he's just like circling, you know, I don't know. It is really weird. And I can't really explain that. Like, I don't really know what could possibly like explain that away.
I think I would be looking, if I was a parent, looking for every clue possible. So under the bed, in the closet, are they playing hide and seek type thing? Is this a funny joke?
Yeah.
And then I would definitely look everywhere before I called 911.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like you clearly didn't search the room that hard before you decide to call the police. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can also see though, like if I was a parent, like just opening the door and being like, okay, like it's also like it's a trailer, so like how big could it be? You know what I mean? So like if you just like open the door and see like, oh my god, Mariah's like bed is empty, like just like do like a quick search around and then just like immediately starts like circling the house. Like, I don't know, I guess that could make sense, but...
Do you think your initial reaction, though, is to call police? I would have a whole search going, I think, before I just called police. Like, I've had a sister just, walk out the door. She was mad at us, and she was just down the street, when we found her. But it's not like immediately, oh, I'm going to call 911. My sister's gone.
I don't know. I mean, I also am like a really strong believer in get police like involved as soon as possible if you really think something's wrong, because like sooner the better. Like they say first 48 hours, which like obviously this is like way sooner than 48 hours, but
true.
Still, I don't know. I mean, especially with children, they always say like the earlier you can you can start this investigation, the better. And like most agencies, I feel like, will take that on right away.
Right. And especially because she's so young. It makes sense.
Right. 3 years old. And like clearly, and like also to that like detail, I can't get over like those shoes too. Like she clearly didn't just walk away like because she clearly physically couldn't, So.
Oh, so you're saying you're thinking she didn't leave voluntarily. You're thinking someone like took her then.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's at least like their parents', initial instinct here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like, how else could she have left if someone didn't physically pick her up and take her out?
True.
Yeah. So at this point in the call, Earl really starts fading in and out of service. And this is like a really bad service area in Onslow County. Like they never made me go live there because it was like that bad. It appears Christy and Earl began to realize that Mariah left a lot of items behind and begin to panic.
So you're fading out, sir.
Hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now what were you saying?
She said that the pajamas she put her to bed in are laying beside her bed.
Okay. So she's not in the pink pajamas?
They're pink footy pajamas. I can't recall exactly what she went to bed in because I didn't dress her.
Okay. And you said they're on the floor?
Yes, sir, on the floor in her room.
And does she have any kind of trackable device with her, sir, like a tablet or anything that we can track GPS?
No.
And who has legal custody, sir?
Her mother, Christy Woods.
Is that with a K or a C?
With a K.
Okay. Now, was there any letters or anything left behind? Do you think anyone...
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. It's just into her.
Okay. And may I have your name, sir?
My name is Adolphus Finley.
I'm sorry, you said your first name was... You're fading out again, sir. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And you said your name is?
It's Kimry.
Kimry?
Yes, K-I-M-R-E-Y.
And last name?
K-I-M-R-E-Y.
Okay, first name?
Adolphus, A-D-O-L-P-H-U-S.
Okay. Now just try to find a recent photo of her, sir. Make any list of friends or addresses, phone numbers that you feel that she may go to, or anyone that she knows in the area, so that she's familiar with. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Just try to locate her and have someone stay at home just in case she does return. If she is located, sir, give us a call back immediately, okay?
Okay.
We'll get an officer dispatched as soon as possible, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, first of all, like, I think I just decided just listening to that, like, I really want to be a 911 telecommunicator.
Really? You have to
Yeah.
be so calm.
Yeah, but, like, that's true. I couldn't do that. That's a good point immediately to talk myself out of that.
I would be like, they're like, yeah, okay. I would be like, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just
That's
heard
so
a
true.
gunshot.
Yeah, I couldn't handle
well,
that.
where's it coming from?
Yeah, right, literally. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Yeah, you're right. Good point. Good point. Thanks for talking me out of that.
Please don't. You investigate them, please. Do not. Yeah.
So I think as a whole, like, I have a couple of different thoughts about this call, but first I'm just wondering what you think of the whole thing, Meredith.
Okay, now that it's over and they kind of just gave the instructions, like find a picture, yada yada. I'm over here like, if that was my child, I'd be like, can someone come out here and look? What are the resources that, can that I can use to find her. Like, I'd be on the move, not just like, okay, I'll find a picture and I'll let you know if I find her. Like, this is a 3-year-old. No.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like super panicked, which is weird because like he's the one who calls 911. You know what I mean? Which like, so maybe I'm even just like, okay, maybe that's why he decided to call like he was the one who called 911 instead of Christy because like he was the calmer one.
But at the same time, it's kind of awkward because she's like, who has custody? And the mom, and it's like not him.
Yeah, I mean, right. So I think that was my main question is like, why is Earl the one calling the cops here? And like, I feel like maybe I'm like splitting hairs probably, but I would think that like if the goal of calling 911 is to give them as much information about Mariah as possible, like wouldn't her mom be the most qualified person to do that? I would think anyways. I mean, literally known her entire life.
Right. Wouldn't you think you'd be able to leave way more details on who she talks to? I guess
what
she's
like,
not in
what
school,
she looks like.
but yeah, what she likes, what she could, where she could maybe be if she, like, yeah, that doesn't. I don't know why he would call. That seems odd.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, maybe. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that like maybe if Christy is just like, I am too panicked to like even communicate anything to 911, but like I still like as a like if I was a mom, like this is probably just maybe my personality, like nothing would stop me from doing like absolutely everything I can like in my power. Like nobody else is having any part in this whatsoever except for me to find my kid.
Oh yeah. Whew.
So that day an Amber Alert is issued statewide, and as he tells WCTI, the ABC affiliate in New Bern, North Carolina, that is how Alex Woods finds out that his daughter is missing. He's driving to work when he gets that alert. He pulls over and calls his ex-wife, begging her to tell him it was a mistake, but it wasn't. Mariah's disappearance captures the entire city, the entire county by storm. Hundreds of people step up to try and find her over the next few days. And Meredith, I just want to show you some of the video that the North Carolina Highway Patrol takes of active searches to show you just how extensive these searches are.
I can't believe she wouldn't tell the dad that she's missing.
Yeah.
I don't care how mad you are at each other. That is a shared child, and I feel like he has the right to know and not find out like on a text Amber Alert or something.
Yeah. Imagine, because like I get those all the time, unfortunately.
Right.
And like imagine just being like, wait a minute. Like getting those and being like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like that's not the right one. I don't know.
And sometimes I look at them and they're like one came in yesterday and it was in Midland, which is far, but they still, send them all the way over here. So
right.
if I see one in where I live, I'm like, oh gosh, on alert.
Yeah. Yeah, I always look at it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking now. Helicopters. Oh, whoa. That's a lot of people.
And it's like weird. Like I don't know. I've never been involved in these searches, obviously, but it's kind of like the arrangement is really interesting because they're like in like this one line, like facing the woods, like almost like they're like marching together. Like you know what I mean?
No, I know how they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been working on a case here in Austin. Well, it's like San Marcos, Texas State student, and they do it on purpose like that. Because they'll walk together and they'll note like they traveled all together in that line with however many feet, and it's easier to track that way.
Oh, so you got this entire area as opposed to just this one line.
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's
instead
really
of
smart.
people just like one by one, going and looking or whatever,
right.
They know for sure that they've searched that entire property.
That area cleared.
And if, say, like a tree pops up right in front of them, they have to yell across the line, like, tree right here, and they all stop and, like, note that there's a tree right there to know, they'll look up and down in the tree, but just to note that they're all in the line still together. I don't know.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That is really crazy. I wonder, first of all, I want to know who, came up with that method, because I'm sure it, didn't exist forever.
I think it's a military tactic, but I could be wrong.
That feels right. That definitely feels right.
But I've never seen that many people in a line do that. Like, this was like 15 people. That's like hundreds.
Well, and I think that for easily, yeah. I mean, I think that just shows you like how much this like little girl like really broke their hearts, you know? It's, I mean, just so sad. But when Mariah still doesn't turn up days later, more and more agencies end up getting involved, including the FBI.
Wow.
In all, more than 700 volunteers show up to search hundreds of acres of residential and farm areas. 225 investigators conduct more than 100 interviews to get hundreds of tips in Mariah's disappearance. Police issue public statements at this point begging anyone who spoke with the family from the day before Mariah went missing on to come forward. The local sheriff, Hans Miller, says investigators searched through more than 95,000 pounds of trash, which just makes me like really sad. Like I have a pit in my stomach just like reading that. Like, I mean,
oh my god,
like the idea of police just thinking her little teeny tiny body may have been thrown away with the rest of like spoiled food and used paper towels.
That is so sad. I can't believe that is a lot of track. Like, this operation was massive. This is probably, this got to be the biggest thing in the town, right?
Oh, 100%. And like, I can't even begin to explain to you like how like this is going to sound weird the way I'm saying it, but like unorganized the town is just in terms of like the pockets of communities there are. You know what I mean? So like for 700 people to get together through Onslow County, like that's how powerful this was.
Wow. Wow.
So Mariah's parents, Christy and Alex, are begging the public for help. Christy is emotional, crying out for whoever has her daughter to bring her home. Alex is also doing separate television interviews with local TV stations with his fiance, and at times he kind of puts some doubt on the story Christy and Earl are telling police at this point. He tells ABC 11 in Raleigh that he's wondering how a young girl could have been taken from this trailer, or at the very least left on her own in the middle of the night without 2 adults and 2 older boys hearing a thing.
Yeah. But at the same time, devil's advocate, they don't like each other. So, you know, he may just be placing the blame on them.
Right.
Because they're mad. He's mad, too, that he didn't...
Easy target.
Yeah. He didn't find out until he saw the Amber Alert. So, and they were in her... Oh, gosh, we get back to the custody. They were in her hands at the time. Okay, so I can see that happening, but...
Yeah. But like also from like the perspective of like 2 adults and like in the trailer, like listen, like just full disclosure here, like news, you are like, it's always a trailer park. Like whatever happens, it's always in a trailer park. So like I'm sure you've been in a trailer park before, just like going through like door to door, like trying to figure out like whatever the heck, like trying to like talk to neighbors about whatever the heck happened in that particular trailer park.
Right.
Like those trailers are not big.
And
so it's
not
like,
soundproof.
Not soundproof at all. Like they're like tin cans. So it's like, how did your I really want to know how they like seem to think that people are just going to believe that this little girl got up in the middle of the night. And like, I'm sure, like, I've never seen like a 3-bedroom trailer. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, I'm wondering where the boys were sleeping, like where they were sleeping, like that, but like, it still couldn't have been too far away from where they were sleeping, like feet at most, you know?
Well, and you say she got up in the middle of the night, but she couldn't have gotten up.
Right.
So
true.
Someone came in.
Right.
I assume.
Right. Which, like, it seems even more unbelievable that no one would have heard that.
Yeah.
I should also probably mention, like, so part of Earl's story that he's starting to tell police, is that he left at some point and left the back door unlocked.
Who does that?
Yeah. No one. That's who. So yeah, I'm really suspicious of that. But I mean, that's his like him like explaining away like how somebody could have gotten in without anyone noticing, is like there wasn't any forced entry because like they just opened the door and like walked in.
Okay. Also, though, I don't know what trailer you've been or haven't been in, but every trailer has a squeaky door. And I don't know about you, but I'm like...
Oh, and squeaky floorboards,
Yes!
like squeaky everything. Like everything makes noise.
It's not really level. And I'm like the lightest sleeper because if a dog has to go out, you got to wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh,
so
100%.
I'm hearing anything and everything. So you're telling me they don't hear anything?
Well, and every single mom I've ever met has been a light sleeper also.
Yeah.
Especially with a 3-year-old.
Getting sketchy.
Yeah. So this is the point in the story that things really start taking a turn and eyes start looking elsewhere. And it's because parts of Earl and Christy's story are just not making a whole lot of sense. So, Meredith, how is this story making you enjoy this wine?
It's making me drink more.
Yes, I feel that. Yeah, I am like a quarter way through right now, and it's like starting to like go down. Like it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've said this before, but it like tastes. I feel like as it like you drink it more, like I feel like the taste like changes a little bit. Maybe because you like get used to it a little bit more, but I feel like it's becoming a lot more mellow.
Yeah, I really like it. Wait, are you quarter way through like your first glass?
No, bottle.
Oh, I was about to say. Like,
Hurry
up.
No, crime over wine. I definitely.
Okay. It's good.
Yeah.
I wish I had like how my mom can like literally taste a bottle and be like, this has this and this, and I know where it's from, but I don't have that trait.
Yeah.
I just know if I like it or not, and I do like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also like I've been like really trying to challenge myself since starting this podcast to like actually appreciate the wine as opposed to just like drink it and be like, yeah, like this is good, and like try to like learn more about it because I feel like I like owe it to myself to do that. You know, so which is fun. And I feel like I have been like doing a little bit better about that. So like just disclaimer to like everyone who's listening, I'm, like not a wine expert in case you like did not pick this up for the last 5 episodes. Like I just like it. So.
We all like it. This is how we get through all of the crime stuff.
Literally.
Wait, how did you pick the fog bank?
Oh, so like really skillfully, I looked at the label and said that looks cool. So
you know, in Texas, I had to search all over for this.
I'm so sorry.
No,
That's
but
so
I
funny.
found it, and it's great. Now I'm just going to... I also got other goodies. Well, I told you I was going to Spec, so you have no idea what that is, but it's a huge liquor store here. And I also got other goodies, like stuffed olives and stuff. So it gave me a really good excuse to go there and get other stuff. So appreciate it. Thank you.
It sounds like that's the kind of liquor store I need.
Oh.
Also, like I don't... But because is it like a good liquor store?
Oh yeah, it's the best, and you can have like a card where you get 10% off, and yeah, they've got cheeses, stuffed, olives and stuff like that. They've got salamis and wine and liquor, and yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to where we were with Alex and Christy. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious what happens next and if the story changes anymore because it seems like a little fishy.
Yeah, well, it's about to get fishier for sure. Police start questioning the family, and frankly, that isn't too uncommon investigations into missing children. They usually suspect people closest to them at first, but this starts to look a little bit different because police begin getting suspicious of the story the couple is telling police officers. And if you remember, Meredith, it's at this point they start telling officers that they put Mariah to bed around 11:30, but Earl told 911 operators that the last time they saw her was around 8:30 the night before.
Yeah.
So that alone is enough to raise an eyebrow or two, more than likely. And at this point, police tell the media that they are operating off of the theories that either something happened to Mariah inside of the trailer or someone she knew took her.
I feel like those are our theories at this point.
Yeah, I think only logical explanations. Yes. If Earl and Christy's suspicious story changes weren't enough for police to look at them more closely, something that happens just 2 days after Mariah's disappearance certainly is. Police are called to a bar in Sneads Ferry, which is not too far from Earl and Christy's trailer in Jacksonville. There, police take a report that Earl and a completely different woman from Christy were verbally assaulting another man. Police take a report for communicating threats, neighborhood disputes, and a suspicious incident that doesn't have any elaboration.
maybe she thinks that he did it and like gets mad at her. I don't know. Or mad at him.
I think at this point, it's really important to like understand like how much saturation Mariah's story is getting in the media. Like not only are like, so also it should be noted too, like I know you obviously understand markets and all that stuff, like TV markets, like, so each individual market has its a certain number of counties it covers. And then there's also some of these counties that are in between markets that, kind of get in like coverage from both of those major cities. Onslow County is one of those counties. It gets coverage both from the Greenville New Bern market, but it's also the part of the Wilmington market too. So there are those 5 stations covering the story, but it also gets really statewide attention. So there are a lot of TV stations from Raleigh coming down and covering the story, Charlotte coming down and covering this story every day. Even as far west as like Asheville, these stations are really hammering this home. So just 2 days in, everyone in Onslow County knows Mariah Woods' name, her face, what she was wearing, what she looks like, where she went missing, everything. And I'm sure they know who her parents are as well. So this interaction, like we don't know much about it, right. But just if I'm inferring here, my guess is, someone probably confronted Earl about his story and said, what the heck happened to Mariah? And he probably got really angry about it.
That's what I'm thinking. But I do think it's interesting that I guess a woman took his side in the fact that they were like both on to, verbally assaulting this other man.
Yeah, I'm like really wondering who this woman is. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the most stand-up person. So, I would have put it past him to just like have some chick on the side.
You don't think he's such a catch, Liam?
No, I don't. And I know you saw his picture, and that does not seem like the man for anyone. So. Okay. So there is even more evidence against Earl and Christy that maybe their house wasn't exactly a home. Neighbors tell police that there are constant domestic problems in their trailer and that Earl is an abuser of alcohol, weed, heroin, and meth. The Jacksonville Daily News reports that there were several domestic abuse and disorderly conduct calls to the trailer. In 2011, Earl is cited for being intoxicated and disruptive and for resisting, delaying, and obstructing a police officer. In 2016, there is a call about assault against a minor, where that minor suffered minor injuries. And if that wasn't enough for police, neighbors tell officers that the night before Mariah's disappearance, they saw Earl walking to the car around 11:30 at night with an object they described as being just bigger than a book bag.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's not good.
Yeah, so police raid the Woods trailer at this point, and the FBI makes a list of items that they seized. As reported by the News and Observer, investigators take a pink jacket, zip ties, children's clothing, carpet sections, and swabs from the seats of their family van. I also saw some reporting that investigators also took a section of the wall from the trailer for analysis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So around the same time, the investigation really heats up. And as hundreds of people continue searching for Mariah, they get the news that the people they've been praying for may not be as innocent as they wanted to believe. On December 2nd, 2017, just 5 days after Mariah is reported missing, Earl Kimry is arrested and charged with obstruction of justice, second-degree burglary, felony larceny after breaking and entering, possession of stolen property, and concealment of an unattended death.
Whoa. Okay,
yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, those charges are like a hodgepodge of like everything but murder.
Second-degree burglary? Why?
Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. I have so many questions about that, too. Okay. So many questions.
Like, because I thought that was their home. Wait, I'm confused. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so they don't find Mariah at this point, but there is no mistaking Earl's charges. Police clearly have enough evidence to believe that Mariah is dead and Earl had something to do with it. His warrant says he removed Mariah's body from the scene knowing that she had died from unnatural causes and acted with deceit and intent to defraud law enforcement. He is held on a $1 million bond, and I can only imagine that that's probably some kind of maybe like a genius police strategy. Maybe putting him in jail certainly allows them to put the pressure on him to tell them where to find Mariah, assuming that they are right at this point and Earl does in fact know where Mariah is.
Okay, wait, so the affidavit says that? No, the warrant. How did they know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's really, it's interesting. I mean, that concealment of an unattended death, that is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, that's quite a charge for sure.
Okay, and then we got theft charges? What?
Yeah, so at this point, it kind of confuses me because his warrants also say that he stole 2 dressers the night Mariah went missing from a house just like a street away. But anything I read on this kind of just like mentions it in passing and like offers zero elaboration. It's just like he's accused of stealing 2 dressers. Okay, next line. Like I never saw anything about what he did with the dressers or anything, or like if they were found, or like I have no idea. Like nobody seems to know or like want to elaborate on that.
Who steals dressers and why?
Yeah. That's a great question, Meredith. I have no idea. It's such a weird thing. And but it's also like, it's like, again, like this is kind of where I go back to like the genius police strategy. Like they clearly, like anybody else would be like steal dressers and be like, okay, like that's weird, but like, we're not going to like investigate it. But like if Homeboy is under investigation for murder, like that's a really like easy way to be like, yeah, you're going to jail for burglary.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're racking it up. Anything and everything. They're like, yeah, we're taking you in and you're gonna until you say something.
So once again, Alex Woods gets devastating news about his daughter in one of the worst ways possible. He finds out his daughter is most likely dead from that warrant. But the shock and confusion is short-lived because that day, Earl tells police where they're able to find Mariah Woods' body. 6 days after Mariah is reported missing, her body is found near a bridge in Shelter Creek in neighboring Pender County, 22.4 miles from the Woods trailer. Her autopsy report says she is 28 pounds and about 3 feet tall. The medical examiner mentions that she has an abrasion on her left eyelid, nose, beneath her chin, and above her lip. Police say that those injuries most likely came from her body being brought to the location where she's found. Her autopsy report also says that she died with an early acute pneumonia, and there is no sign of any kind of sexual abuse on her body. She was found in a plaid zippered couch cushion cover and wrapped in 3 white plastic trash bags, which were also tied around her neck. In the cushion is what looks like a piece of cement curbing. Her toxicology report finds a significant amount of chloroform in her lungs, and the medical examiner rules she most likely died of chloroform toxicity.
Okay, to me, he just admitted. Like, he knows where she was at. I mean, I guess someone else could have killed her, or she could have died, and then he moved the body, but no way.
Yeah, I mean, that also, just from what I know about those kind of interrogations, like, a lot of times they'll say, like, you know, like off the record kind of thing, like it won't be admissible in court. It's just kind of like a way for them to like get additional evidence. You know what I mean? Like they won't use like whatever they're able to like put the pressure on. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of what I've been able to gather from those kinds of things. Cause like whenever that kind of thing happens, like they never like use that in a court of law.
Right.
You know?
Right. But they found her.
So,
I mean.
Yeah. Which gives them so much more opportunity.
Tied around her neck. Like, hello, someone killed her.
Yeah.
Someone killed her.
Well, and with a piece of cement, like nobody tended to find her.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So the night that Mariah's body was found, Sheriff Hans Miller releases a statement to the public. And Meredith, I want you to read it for us.
Oh gosh. Okay. The death of a child is always a sobering reminder of how fragile life is. When the community is so deeply affected by such a horrific crime, it is sometimes difficult to not allow our emotions to influence the decisions that we make. However, the best way to honor Mariah is to ensure a fair and thorough investigation, which will lead to a successful prosecution. We must remember that through these moments, together as a community, we can ensure that justice will be delivered for Mariah. We sincerely thank the community for their patience and support through this entire investigation. Oh my gosh. I feel like he's talking to those, 700 volunteers who helped try to find her. Like, they're still...
To the entire county, basically,
right.
Who, dedicate their lives to this girl for, a week?
And we're going to provide justice for her. And even though, oh gosh, it's sad though. It's really sad.
So, after the results of the autopsy are released, Kimry is formally charged with Mariah Woods' murder, as well as felony child abuse inflicting serious bodily injury, and the district attorney says he is seeking the death penalty. Christy's involvement in Mariah's death, though, is still unknown, and she's never been charged, although she is apparently cooperating with police at this point. It should also be noted that the day Mariah was reported missing, her two older brothers were placed in the care of Alex Woods' parents. And this is a very important detail because as Earl Kimry's court case plays out, the public learns the devastating details of what life was like inside the Woods household.
Oh, okay.
As the community learns about Mariah's death, they mourn her death just as much as the people who knew her. The community holds prayer vigils and public services. Alex Woods talks to the Jacksonville Daily News just a few days later about his daughter and tells a reporter that she loved to dance, especially in the car. He remembers a touching moment when she fell asleep in the car with cheese dust all over her and then woke up to a song she liked and started wiggling in her seat. He tells the reporter that she loved pink unicorns, and Alex's fiancée, Heather, remembers when Mariah first saw a unicorn that one of Heather's own kids had, and Mariah grabbed it from her and was obsessed with them ever since. But mixed in with these happy memories was a dark cloud setting in over what happened in the Woods home behind closed doors. Court records showed multiple different reports taken by Child Protective Services of physical and sexual abuse. In one instance, Earl is accused of hitting Christy's kids with a belt, one time hitting one of her sons in the face so hard he got a nosebleed. Other reports included sexual abuse of Mariah in front of her brothers. The reports say that Christy knew of the abuse and did nothing to stop it, failing to protect her kids from the constant abuse. Both Earl and Christy are accused of having a history of exposing the kids to adult situations and conversations. And this part just kills me, especially knowing what we know in hindsight, I guess. It just seems like the adults in these kids' lives failed them and traumatized them so much. I'm not sure how much police knew at this point, but it was pretty obvious that the people who took over knew that Christy and Alex were not fit to be legal guardians based on the fact that they put their two remaining boys with grandparents and not with them. And it just upsets me because if just one of the adults in the room had stepped up and demanded more for these kids, we might not be talking about Mariah because she might still be alive.
Oh, I feel like this whole thing is sad. You have a mom that seems to me is just staying with this guy, I don't know why, who's like hurting her kids. Okay, so there we go. Domestic violence. Or that's what it seems to me, which is so sad. And then you see him hurting kids. And how is that? Because obviously I think these like CPS workers or whatever know about him and know about this. How did they decide that was okay for these kids? How is that worse than the real dad? And like you decided the mom was going to take the whole thing.
I'm right there with you, Meredith. And, again, it just kind of makes me think about what was going on with Alex that made them think that this was okay, I guess. But it also kind of at the same time makes me sad because like Alex was telling, I think the Jacksonville Daily News that a judge wouldn't hear him, a judge wouldn't take his case because he couldn't afford a lawyer to be heard, to make his case for him. And, that I mean,
I think he should have tried harder. Like, can't you have a court appointed or no? Or do you have to, in
I
that
don't
case?
think in family court. Yeah, I don't think in family court, I think you can do that. Yeah, I don't think that's...
Gosh, it's your children. And like, maybe she wouldn't have died if you tried harder. I know that's like so in hindsight, but gosh, it's so bad. Okay, so we talked about Alex. We talked about the mom. What the heck happened to Earl?
Yeah, so Earl's trial was delayed multiple times because of complications in the court system during the COVID-19 pandemic. But just this past December, as Mariah would have been turning 8 years old, Earl shocks the community when he announces that he is accepting a plea deal. He pleads guilty to all charges and is sentenced to life in prison without parole, avoiding the death penalty.
He admitted. He pleads guilty to all of that. He killed the little girl. So that because he pled guilty to all of that, that includes the, like, does that include the whole, like, why she had that in her system and stuff?
Yeah, so we're about to get to, like, why he may have done it.
Do I want to know? No.
I don't think you do, but you're going to find out anyways, so please brace your...
Let me take, like, 2 more sips of this wine.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need it. So Earl told a judge that drugs had been dominating his life at that time. He was spending $60 to $100 per day on drugs.
He lives in a trailer! Oh my God, okay.
Right. He says he didn't mean to kill Mariah. He was trying to get high when Mariah kept waking up and disturbing him. So he took a combination of bleach and nail polish remover to make chloroform and put it over her mouth to put her to sleep for the night. When he realized what he had done, he said he panicked and got rid of her tiny body.
Oh my God. How did he even know how to make that? Who thinks of that?
Yeah, definitely not me. If you told me how to make chloroform, I'd probably been like, oh, like, I don't know, like, buy it at the store. Like,
I don't know.
You never would have, like, I have no idea what chloroform is, nor do I want to.
Oh my God, that's so sad. And he got rid of her body? So wait, but was she dead?
I have to, I mean, just for my own sanity, I have to imagine that they just, like, knocked her out cold and... like, that was it for her. Like, otherwise I will never be able to, like, leave my house ever again.
Oh my God. Okay, so he's charged, obviously. Then what about the mom?
So she was never charged. In fact, she delivered a pretty powerful statement to Earl in court saying, quote, "I stand before you a broken, destroyed person. My family and I will never be the same. Something will always be missing, and that is my baby girl. We have been tortured, harassed, and beaten. We have not been able to grieve. My sons have been tortured, taken away, and to this day still can't understand why she was the one taken away from us. All of those milestones that we should be experiencing with her will never experience. She will be honored forever and remembered. I want to know why, but I know we will never know. She was the light of everybody's life. She had a smile that would brighten up your day. I had her name picked out even before I had a little girl. She was like my best friend." End quote.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have 2 main thoughts. One, I go back to domestic violence. It seems like she was, like, stuck because she said she was tortured, harassed, beaten, all of that.
Yeah.
But then also I'm like, how did you not know? How did you not?
Yeah.
You were there.
So I have those 2 thoughts too, Meredith, and I didn't put this in the episode because I couldn't really substantiate it with any like source material, but I did read somewhere that she was like a stay-at-home mom basically, and he was the breadwinner. And you know, I just know from a lot of domestic violence situations,
that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Yeah. I mean, you're trapped because you have no other choice but to rely on this person. And, you know, so you just, I mean, for lack of better words, take it. And it makes me so mad thinking about his reason that it's all because he just, like, really wanted to get high.
Oh, it makes me so mad. Oh, God. a little innocent girl. Like, I think of 3-year-olds, they can barely say they can say full sentences, but like barely, they're still learning. And this little girl,
but also like a disabled little girl.
God. That's so much more forceful in that.
Yeah.
Because they can't walk.
They can't fight back.
No, they can't fight back. You're literally hurting someone that can't even fight back. That's so sad.
Well, Meredith, this is like such a sad episode, and I don't really know how to make this transition, but I'm just gonna make it. Thank you so much for coming on this week, and I'm so glad that we got to talk about this, and really dive deep into this like really tragic, awful story.
I know, it's terrible, but is it sad that I still had fun with you and drinking wine and talking about crime that we love? This is the stuff we thrive on. We love this stuff. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think we can still allow ourselves to have fun. Otherwise, like if we it's like if we don't laugh, we cry.
Yes, we can't do that.
So tell everyone where they can find your work online.
Me online? Okay, fox7austin.com.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much, Meredith, for coming on. It was so great talking to you.
Thank you.
And thank you all so much for listening. We are going to put all of our sources on our website so you can read everything for yourself and probably come up with a few theories for yourself too. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we will see you next week for another episode of Crime Over Wine.
Proud member of the Podnuga Network.
Hey, it's Amy Brown from The Bobby Bones Show. Join me in supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for a chance to win a trip to meet Megan Maroney at the 2025 iHeart Country Festival in Austin, Texas on May 3rd, hosted by Bobby Bones. We're going to hook you up with tickets, flights, hotel, food credits, and a meet and greet with Megan Maroney. Take action now to support St. Jude and help cure childhood cancer, and you're going to be entered for a chance to win. Visit iHeartCountryTrip.com to learn more.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21+. Terms and conditions apply.